Hey there, I'm Kevin Kimmel, Mixer Product Manager for Yamaha Commercial Audio Systems. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the M7CL 48ES and the SB168ES stage box. When combined, they make a really simple plug-and-play digital audio network system. The surface of the M7CL 48ES is exactly the same as the standard M7CL 48. There are 48 mono input faders, 4 stereo input faders, stereo mono output faders, and the central logic section. Just like on the original M7CL 48, you can use the faders on the deck to control audio levels for their respective channels, or you can control all the functions of the console from the central logic section. There are, however, some differences between the two units, and the most obvious way to differentiate between the two consoles is to look at the inputs and outputs on the rear panel. On the back of the M7CL 48ES, there are far fewer I/O ports than the standard M7CL. The ES model includes 8 Omni-ins, 8 Omni-outs, an EtherSound interface with 3 ports, 3 MY card slots, power supply connections, and the remote connection for Studio Manager. Audio can be routed to the console through the EtherSound connectors, the Omni-in ports, or the 3 MY card slots. After processing the audio, the signals can be routed from the console to any other device using the EtherSound connectors, the Omni-out ports, or the card slots. If the EtherSound connectors are used to route audio into or out of the console, the EtherSound network can be configured using either the Auto Configure function or Avotron's ES Monitor software. The SB168ES stage box provides remote inputs and outputs for the M7CL 48ES. This allows the mic pre's and the outputs to be placed anywhere within the network, improving the system design and reducing the amount of analog cabling used. The really cool thing about this is you can put a stage box stage right, maybe one stage left, one up center, and now your mic pre's are a lot closer to your sources and audio is improved all the way around. Up to 16 analog inputs and 8 analog outputs can be connected to each SB168ES. Audio is routed between the devices, the console, and any other EtherSound compatible device by way of the 2 EtherSound ports. Once on the EtherSound network, the audio can be routed to or from any device in the system. Routing audio between the M7CL 48ES and the stage boxes can be accomplished using either the Auto Configure function on the console or with the PC running Avotron's ES Monitor software. The fastest way to route audio between one M7CL 48ES console and up to 3 stage boxes is to use the Auto Configure function. However, if more than one console or 3 stage boxes will be used, then you must configure the network using ES Monitor. The really cool thing about the Auto Configure function is that once you take your stage boxes and plug them into your console, set the dip switches accordingly, power them up, you've just created a really simple plug-and-play digital audio network system. Before you begin routing audio between the components, you must decide which network topology your system will use. There are 2 types of networks that can be built using the Auto Configure function, daisy chain and ring. Using a daisy chain will allow you to use the maximum number of network channels, however, there's no redundancy on the network. Using a ring topology will provide redundancy, but the number of network channels available will be reduced. For this demonstration, we'll use daisy chain. To use the Auto Configure function for a daisy chain network, please make sure all devices are powered off before you begin. This is really important, so don't forget that one. Okay, the next thing you have to establish is a connection between the console and the SB168ES units using standard Cat5 cables with EtherCon connectors. When connecting devices on a digital audio network system using daisy chain configuration, the first Ethernet cable should connect to the EtherSound out of the word clock master to the EtherSound in of the next device. In this case, the M7CL 48ES is a word clock master. Therefore, the EtherSound out of the console is connected to the EtherSound in of the first stage box. The EtherSound out of the first SB168ES will connect to the EtherSound in of the second stage box. And the EtherSound out of the second SB168ES will be connected to the last stage box in the series. What you have to remember is that the console is the word clock master. Therefore, you're coming EtherSound out of the console and going into the stage boxes. This may seem counterintuitive, but audio flows in both directions when using a daisy chain configuration. Our primary concern is the direction of the word clock flow. After routing our Cat5 cables between devices, the dip switches on the stage boxes must be set so that the units can identify themselves on the network. This table shows the various dip switch settings for the SB168ES units in both daisy chain and ring mode. The dip switch configuration you use will depend on the number of stage boxes in the system and the topology of your network. In this case, we're using a daisy chain configuration and 3 stage boxes, so the dip switches will be set like this. The dip switches are recessed to help prevent them from being accidentally changed. Therefore, we recommend that you use a pen or a small screwdriver to change the settings. After setting the dip switches, power on the console and then the stage boxes. Once all these devices have completed their startup procedure, your setup is complete and you're ready to go. This graphic shows the routing after the auto configuration has been completed. If you would like to change the routing of the audio on the network, you must use a PC running ES Monitor software. Just like the surfaces of the 2 consoles are the same, the operating systems of the original M7CL and the M7CL 48ES are virtually the same. The techniques that you use to EQ, compress, or route audio on the standard M7CL are the same techniques used on the M7CL 48ES. In addition, all files from the M7CL family are compatible with one another. If you are currently using an original M7CL and would like to transfer your data to an M7CL 48ES, a pop-up window will appear during the loading process to guide you through the necessary steps. It's just that simple. Hey, thanks for taking time to view this presentation and learn more about the quick setup function of the M7CL 48ES. Today, we learned a very simple daisy chain network configuration, but keep in mind, your audio network can be as simple or complex as you need. If you'd like more information on EtherSound, please refer to the EtherSound Setup Guide on the Yamaha Commercial Audio website.